Hi guys, welcome to the Legion channel. This is Dean, 4 times British bodybuilding champion, co-founder of Legion, and he likes to Hulk smash.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. This is Chel, founder of Bourgeois and also co-founder of Legion, and she is a cake sniffer.
Well, if it isn't a cake sniffer and his cake sniffing friend.
I don't like to sniff cakes. I'd rather eat them. Okay, today we're going to be talking about fat loss and the do's and don'ts. We're going to go over 5 key points, just the top 5 that we thought we needed to just clear the air with, and things you should and shouldn't do. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it. Let's make it nice and simple, just for all of you newbies to the gym and everybody that's had a good blowout over Christmas, their New Year's resolutions, all of that. You want to lose a few pounds, we're just going to give you a few simple little pointers how to do so. Chuck these into your daily routines and it will help massively.
Awesome. Okay, let's do number 1, getting the right information. Now, I hear so many people, especially us women, we like to talk, share advice and stuff. But I hear a lot of nonsense, and I always like to find out, where did you get that info from? And they're like, oh yeah, my auntie told me. Or no, this woman at the salon who's like this huge told me. Or Facebook, I saw this article or this video on Facebook. I'm like, these aren't real good advice, where you're getting this from. Can you just find the right source? So what would you say would be the right thing to do?
I'd say morbidly obese Janet down the salon. She's just got a thyroid problem. Maybe she does know what she's talking about.
She's just big bone.
It's just genetic.
She's got good advice.
I think I do remember hearing something on TV about colon cleansing. They say everyone should have one. I'm thinking about getting me an appointment and go down and getting my colon cleansed thoroughly.
Honestly, if you're going to listen to somebody that's been there, done it, been very good and successful at what they want to achieve.
Consistent at it.
And they've done it over and over again, and also been able to do it with other people, because every single person's different. What works for one may not work for another, but there are certain rules in the universe that if I pig out and crap every day, you're going to look fat. I don't care who you are. So if you stick to eating good clean foods every day, you're going to be a lot healthier and a lot slimmer to a certain degree. But you need to find out what works best for you. So don't listen to Bob down the gym with his big fat belly.
Get in my belly!
That's going to tell you how to diet and you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Go to somebody that's actually been there and done it consistently, and they have a similar goal maybe to what you're aiming for. Why would you listen to us at Legion? Because we've been there and done that. I've done this for many, many years. I competed for many years. I got my body fat down to ridiculous levels, absolutely shredded, and done it consistently. And also done it with many other people, whether they just want to shed a few pounds, get their abs out, or get shredded for stage. We have a recipe. We know how to do that, and I've had so much experience with different body types that we know exactly what to do. And I'm not saying you have to come and listen to us. This channel is here. It's free for you to listen to, free advice. But if you want to really deep dive into your diets and all the rest of it, and your nutrition and we can do it all for you, tailored programs, then go to joinourlegion.com. The link will be at the bottom.
Okay, shall we move on to the second point? Is food prep. So, the bad point, how many of you actually prep your foods? I mean, if you're a regular gym goer, you're probably more into this. But if you're a newbie, food prep is something you just do not do. It's more likely to be takeout, quick meals, fast food here and there. And when it comes to trying to be healthy, you think, okay, rather than getting takeout, let's get the packet food from Tesco or whatever. What do you say to that?
Well, this is the problem. When you miss meals, you're more likely to binge eat and go for junk, crap,
cravings.
Grab a takeout, something like that. And these foods are atrocious. Obviously, we all know what's bad and what's good to a certain degree. You know that McDonald's is bad for you, and if you eat it every day, you're going to get fat and have health problems. So prepping your food it's all about being ready.
Yeah.
If you've got your meals there, you'll never miss a meal. So you won't get those hunger, those cravings to go and grab some junk. And also, if you're prepping your own food, you know exactly what's gone into it. So you can buy healthy versions from the supermarkets in packets. And if you look on the back of the labels, I guarantee they're laced with all these hidden calories and preservatives and crap chemicals that you really don't want to be putting into your body on a regular basis at any time, but especially not on a regular basis. So prep your food, buy healthy ingredients, always cook it yourself.
Cook it yourself.
If it comes in a packet, don't eat it. If it's obviously takeout, don't eat it. Always make sure you've cooked it yourself. And you might think this can be really expensive to eat healthy food, but is it though?
Is he though?
Because if you eat takeout 3 times a week, I guarantee you that's probably the price of your shopping for a week. How much it builds up to be.
Yeah.
So if, like us, we go to farms and butchers to get all our meat, so it's good organic proper meat, not crap from a supermarket. But also we buy it in bulk, same with all the vegetables and stuff. When you buy it in bulk, it's half the price, and you'll be surprised how much you get for your money. It may seem like a lot, but that's going to last you for a week or two,
put it in the
even a
freezer.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a whole freezer stacked. We can choose whatever we want. Fish, chicken, red meat, whatever we want. It's perfect.
Yeah, huge joints, stick them in the slow cooker, whatever, that'll give us meals for the week. So it's not expensive to eat healthy if you know where to go and get your foods. If you're going to go to Marks and Spencer's and buy a steak every day, you're probably going to spend £12-15 on one meal. That's going to work out to be expensive. Go to a butcher, you'll pay £22, about 20 quid or something, and you'll probably get 10 meals out of that. So it's not that expensive, and that's really good quality steak. Things like with your eggs, everything. So yeah, prep your food.
Prep your food. Okay. Step 3, carbs. Okay, so someone like me, I love carbs. I can't help having a little bit, bit of chips here and there, or the things that you're not really supposed to eat, especially simple carbs. It's how good is carbs for you, really?
Carbs in the Western world, and even now moving towards the Eastern world, is probably the worst problem that we have today, as in the percentages of diabetics in the UK are creeping up as bad as the US. It's a huge problem, and if you know anything about how bad diabetes can be, it leads to all kinds of problems. You can go blind, you can lose limbs, you can die from it. It's really not a nice place to be in. And what creates diabetes is carbs. And basically, when you eat carbohydrates, your body will break them down to blood sugars, glycogen. The faster that process gets broken down into your blood, the more your blood sugars will spike. Then your body will release a massive amount of insulin to take that glycogen to its destination, which will be stored in the muscle or stored as fat. And then when it does that, then blood sugars crash down. So you'll get a big high and a massive low, and then you'll be craving more sugar, more junk. So
it's a vicious circle. Basically,
the more simple the carb, the faster it breaks down, the more insulin, the more fat. So sugars, simple carbs equals fat. Even complex carbs, if you're cramming massive amounts of carbs and you're eating them in every single meal over years and years, this is really going to put a massive stress on your pancreas, which produces the insulin. When you become diabetic, basically your pancreas is not being able to cope with the amount of insulin needed to take the blood sugars, keeping them stable. So the more complex the carb, the more slowly that breaks down, the less insulin needed. So your blood sugars will be nice and stable instead of up and down. Even better than that, I mean, a lot of athletes will swear by I need carbs. Carbs is energy. If if you know anything about sugar, sugar is actually the opposite to energy. Sugar will shut down your ATP system, which is your main and first energy source. Sugar will even stop, to a certain degree, your body from being able to absorb things like vitamin C, because sugar molecules are very similar in shape to a vitamin C molecule. So if you've filled up all the receptors with sugar, there's no space for you to absorb things like vitamin C. And if you're really packing your diet with sugars, you can build up deficiencies in certain vitamins because you're not being able to absorb them. So just carbs, sugars is not energy. When you eat a ton of carbs, do you want to go and run a marathon? No, you want to sit down on your ass and go to sleep. So a better, healthier version. I'm not saying don't eat carbs. If you want to keep carbs in, that's great. Keep them complex. Keep your blood sugars nice and stable. And remember, the more complex the carb, the slower, the less likely you store fat. Just remember, complex, less fat. Simple, sugars, more fat. If you went to keto, and I'm not talking about somebody's version of keto, keto means no carbs or very low carbs. This is a healthy keto, so this will be packed with vegetables, vitamins, minerals, good proteins and good fats. No carbs or very little, just fibrous carbs. So we put women seem to tend to really respond way better with keto, just because the way our bodies work. Women will store a lot more energy, as in fat, around the hips and the glutes mainly, and this is your body getting ready for childbirth. It's storing more energy than what a guy would need, plus they're going to have a lot less testosterone than a guy, so estrogen will help you to store more fat. So women, I'm sorry, you got it bad that you're going to store more fat, but the good thing is you store it in the right places to give you those nice curves.
It's not all bad news.
So if you were to go down the keto road, it has to be healthy version.
Yes.
We had a look
versions.
at your diet, didn't we?
Yes.
We changed you to keto.
Yes.
How did you get on with that? How did you feel?
Yeah.
Because if you eat quite a lot of junk and you go to keto, the first week you could feel terrible, feel like crap, and just it's hard to get through it. You'd be starving. How did you get on? Because we did it the right way.
So first of all, I've never really been keen on these diets that come out here and there, because I need to look into them more to see if they really are beneficial. Usually they're just trying to confuse you and tell you all sorts of nonsense. And there's, like Dean said, there's so many different versions of them all. So it's like, which one do you go for? Which one's right? So I went according to what Dean specifically said was ideal to go for, looking through the diet and knowing what's best for your body, tailoring the right keto diet for me. So it meant cutting out my carbs. So at first I was a little bit, like I just said, I do like my carbs. But I'd rather have a healthy body than shove chips down my throat. So obviously I don't really eat chips, but in terms of bread, potatoes, things like that, we just cut it all out. So if the first week went by, it wasn't a problem. I managed to do it all fairly well because I had my meals all done, ready for me. There was always a meal after a 2-hour time frame. I was having around 5 to 6 meals a day. So I was never hungry. I never had cravings. There was always a meal ready for me. So
how does that happen? Is there like a food fairy that just magically makes the food?
Yeah, I have a nice fairy. Yeah, the fairy knows what I like and cooks it perfectly and washes the dishes afterwards as well. I've got such a good fairy.
Get him into flying school.
Yeah, so
I'm not a fairy, by the way.
Legion fairy. So, okay, after a week, Dean then asked me, so how do you feel? Because we just got on with it, carried on with our training and planning and everything like that. So a week later, he's like, yeah, so how did you find your diet? How do you feel? How do you find your processing things, like your thought process and things like that? Do you feel tired or whatever? And I thought to myself, okay, I haven't had carbs, so I should feel tired. But I don't. I don't feel tired at all. I feel more awake and more alert. And usually I would feel sluggish after my dinner time meal, because when I was eating carbs, I'd have that kind of 3 meal a day type thing, and almost all of them had carbs in them. So by the time I've eaten my last meal, it's like, food coma, sit down, want to watch TV and not do anything.
Had several meals and lapsed into a food coma.
I didn't feel that at all. I felt energetic even through the day to my last meal. I didn't want, if we were going to sit down and watch a movie, I didn't want to just sit there and do nothing. I have my laptop out. I'm thinking, my brain's still active. And that's when I said to him, yeah, you know what? It's done completely the opposite I thought it was going to do. And I thought that was pretty incredible.
So remember, carbs are energy, right? So your brain needs good fats to function properly. So if you're having enough good fats, which the keto is all about, even if you're not on keto, you need to be having good fats. Things like fatty fish, salmon, egg yolks, avocados, mixed nuts.
But what about dark chocolate?
No. So the good fats is really going to help your brain health and help you to function so much better. And it's sustainable, much better energy. When you start running on ketones, you feel a lot better. You'll feel sluggish, you'll feel heavy. And you went to keto, you dropped a ton of weight in the first week. And that will be mainly water and glycogen, but you will start to burn fat. So after a week, would you feel heavy?
Yeah. I don't think I did. I don't really think I felt that. I mean, I probably did. I can't remember what my weight was exactly.
So you dropped a chunk in the first week.
Yeah, you know what? I've written it. My memory's just, you know.
She said she felt light.
I'm light as a feather, I'm the bigger light girl.
Oh yeah, of course. Every meal felt a lot lighter. It felt smaller and easier to eat. So it wasn't like, you know, when you're having rice and then chicken and then, I don't know, sweet potato,
stodgy starch,
and then chicken. Yeah, it was light, like leafy greens and your chicken, leafy greens and your salmon. So it was a nice meal time. It wasn't chaotically heavy. So yeah, now I do remember it was a pleasant, you know, diet. It wasn't a diet for me. It was great. So if you are considering, definitely get in touch and we can give you more information about how to do it correctly.
Yeah, so for the fat loss, either bring your carbs right down, keep the carbs you are eating complex, or consider keto.
Okay. Right, so that was a long one. So let's go, moving on to the next one we have is sugar. So, yes, if you're not doing what we just said, like having your meals set, you're going to tend to end up snacking. And cravings always happen when you've missed a meal, you're at work and you just want to quickly have something that you want to get out of the vending machine, or you're at home watching a movie, get the popcorn out, or a bit of snacks here and there. That's probably the worst thing you can do because it's just full of sugar.
Yeah, and you will see a lot going around, you chocolate eaters that love chocolate. Mm-hmm. This happens a lot with women, that you're going to hear, dark chocolate's healthy for you. It's good for you. Okay. There is something in dark chocolate that will release endorphins and make you feel good. And there's slight little health benefits to it. But, however, any chocolate that has sugar in it is extremely bad for you. And it's really not healthy. And the bad massively outweighs the good. And it's not worth it. Anything that you are eating, you should... that food, you want it to be as dense in nutrients as possible, vitamins, minerals, everything you need. Something like sugar has no nutritional value whatsoever. It's empty calories. It's just crap. It's like a poison to your body. So you should never be going to these foods. It's not even food. It's just the poison in your body. So sugar is one of the worst things you can eat. And as I explained, your blood sugars fly up, they go down. So look at longevity and health. People around the world who live in these, we call them blue areas, the people that live the longest. They study them, what are they doing, what makes them live way over 100 years old. And one of the main factors was blood sugar levels were always nice and stable. And these are usually tribes and stuff that if they do eat carbs, it's like yams or like sweet potato yams, which are really, really low on the glycemic index, and always natural foods, what they've grown. So keeping stabilized blood sugars are one of the best ways to health and longevity.
So what about peanut butter and protein bars? They're all like good gym food, you know. Good, you know.
Okay, let's start with the health bars.
Health.
How can you
Health
call it a
bars.
health bar when you look in the back of it and it's packed full of sugar? There's nothing healthy about these protein bars. Most of them is just like a chocolate bar with a sprinkle of whey protein in it. It's far from healthy. So just because it says protein on the front of the packet, it does not mean that it's healthy or even have any good protein in it whatsoever. These are just gimmick bullshit sales pitches that make you.
Believe
I mean, it's
something
genius,
healthy.
yeah, because you want to eat something that tastes delicious. If you can eat that chocolate bar and be healthy, it's a win-win,
Win-win.
right?
When is there ever a healthy chocolate bar? I mean, it tastes like a chocolate bar. We've just added peanuts in it most of the time.
Yeah. And as for peanut butter,
Yeah.
this is like a health craze that you need to get your good fats. And as I explained, it's so massively important to have good fats in your diet. It will help to stabilize all your hormone levels and everything. So it's really important. Joint health, everything. So you need good fats. Like I say, you need like omega-3s, saturated fats. Yes, saturated fat is good for you. You might be told that it's bad and it's going to give you heart disease and heart attack. This is not true. What will do that will be eating massive amounts of processed crap foods and carbohydrates that will block up your arteries or the fat that you're creating. So saturated fats in moderation is very good for you. The fats in nuts are good for you. Problem is, peanuts are not an actual nut, it's a legume. So you're going to have more of a problem digesting legumes because your microbiome probably not going to cope with that very well. So if you have to go to the toilet quite a lot and it's a bit...
Do not go in there. Woo!
then you're not digesting that food very well and you're going to get a lot of inflammation in your gut and you're not getting the goodness out of the food. So peanuts, like I say, it's a legume, it's not the best, but in peanut butter, most of them have got a load of added crap to it as well. If you look on the back of it, all the chemicals, the preservatives and the process, the more a food is processed, the more it's going to lose the goodness, the minerals out of it. So if they're putting some back in, it's never going to be as good as the original nutrients. So, and secondly, you have a teaspoon of peanut butter, that's the fat you need, that ends up being 3, 4, 5 tablespoons. Before you know it, you've ate half a jar and you've just consumed like 1,000 calories, which is not going to help you to lose fat whatsoever. So if you want to get the good fats from any kind of nuts, then I suggest you eat them from the raw nuts. Because it's going to stop you eating massive amounts of them, too many calories. And secondly, you're going to be getting the original nutrition from an actual nut that's grown on the tree, and there's no
source.
processed crap going along with that.
Okay.
So stay away from peanut butter.
Moving on from that, we have the last one, which is sauces. So we thought this was quite an important one because people don't realise exactly what we mean, and they don't realise that that is actually something that you really need to cut out of your diet. So things like ketchup. Obviously, when we say sauces, probably the first thing that comes to mind are things like mayonnaise. Like you want to get rid of those. So you think, okay, ketchup's all right. That's just tomato. Oh, no, it's really not. It's just the worst.
Just the worst.
And you can tell us why. And also things like ready-made pasta sauces or any kind of ready-made sauces that you get in a tin or in a packet, you know, straight from the supermarket. They've all got hidden nonsense in them. So tell us a bit more about that.
Exactly right, exactly that. Any kind of sauce in whatever packet food you bought or any sauce that you're putting on it. If it says fat-free, I guarantee it's loaded with sugar. And a lot of these packages really try to fool you.
And they hide it, don't they?
Yes, it's hidden sugar. So you look on the back of the pack, it might say only contains 5 grams of sugar, But you look into the ingredients, there might be multidextrose, which is another form of sugar. There's so many different forms of sugar. Multidextrose is actually worse than sugar because it's even higher on the glycemic index than sugar. So there's lots of hidden sugars in there as well.
So they kind of write it, but it's in a way that you don't necessarily see that it's sugar.
Yeah. Or they could be very smart with, if it say like, I don't know, per 10 grams of this sauce, it has trace of fat in it. So unless there's at least 1 gram, then they don't have to pull it on the packet. They can
Just
put
0.
trace.
So it could be 0.9.
Yeah, but if it's only per 10 gram
Yeah.
and there's trace, there could be 0.9 per 10 grams. So 100
Yes.
grams is going to be a lot of calories in there. So you have to really study and read these packets to see exactly what's in them. So the best thing to do is just do not eat them. Sauces are atrocious. The shit they put in these sauces, they do not care about your health. They care about selling a product, and it's all about taste and making you buy it.
So what do we do then?
So I don't want to deprive you from eating nice, delicious foods, and you can't eat dry prep food and end up gagging on it and not eating your meals. So the solution, make your own sauce. We've done this many times. Maybe I'm cooking minced beef, minced turkey, whatever. I will make our own sauce, and I'll either use tinned tomatoes as a base, obviously no added sugars. Fruits and stuff like tomatoes, it does have some fructose in it. Fructose is a form of natural sugar you were getting fruits, but it will not spike your insulin, anything like actual sugar. So it's a much, much healthier version, but you still have to be aware it does have some in there. You can have natural whole tomatoes and mash them down and make it from that if you don't want to go down the tinned tomato route. I use that as a base and then just pack it full lots of different spices and herbs to your taste. Mix that in with all the minced meat, and it's delicious. The limit is endless to how many different flavors and tastes you can put in that. Because any spices and herbs you can have,
Fine, yeah.
it's just the sauces that are packed.
I would say to make sure to get the raw spices and herbs, not necessarily the ones that are branded and they're like Mexican mix and they've got lots of different things in there, because I find that sometimes they can have sugar in them and other things.
Again, you
not
study the
necessary.
packets. So
So
get
you
the
can just
raw
buy
from-
them in the bottles or from your supermarket that sells the whole kind of spice or whatever in the packet raw form. You want to just stick to things like that, and you might think this is going way in depth, but it really all makes a massive difference, and you just get better at your cooking as well.
Lots of little calories every single day
Yes.
add up to a lot at the end of the week. So on paper, 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat. So over a whole week, you could easily do that. And if you're not, then you might not be having that much, but you're having enough to stop you from losing the fat that you're trying to do. So just one more quick sauce that I made was avocado sauce.
Oh yeah, that was delicious.
We do it on fish and things like that. Add a whole avocado, blend it up, use water so you can make it the consistency as thick and runny as you want. And then again, add different spices and herbs, and that's basically all it is. Water, avocado, spices, herbs, and that was delicious on the fish and things like that. So yeah, if you're going to have a sauce, make your own.
So yeah, if you want any more information about any of the things that we've just talking about, anything further like recipes and things like that, just get in touch. Just drop a message below and we will get back to you. We could do more videos. Let us know what more you want to see. But before we end off, we've got a few questions and answers. You ready for them?
Is it that time?
It's that time.
It's question time.
Okay, first one. What's your view on those electric ab trainers? Do they work just stimulating the muscles?
Oh, the electric pulses, the pads you put on the
pads,
muscle
yeah,
and they stimulate.
The ones that you see on TV adverts and Facebook ads and all this stuff.
Yeah. So if you're morbidly obese and you're bedridden and you can't move, then maybe you could buy one of these and it'll stimulate the muscles to move a little bit. other than that, that's probably the only benefit you'll ever get from these things, because all it's doing is putting an electric pulse into your muscle and making the muscle contract. So it's just like I'm doing the same thing by tensing my muscle over and over. That is never going to stimulate muscle growth. To stimulate muscle growth, you need to put so much stress on the muscle that it puts little micro tears in the muscle, and then you need a lot of rest and a lot of food for that to heal and then come back stronger. Your body's defense mechanism to stop that from tearing again is to grow new muscle fibers to make it stronger. And that's why you need to slowly go heavier on your weights. So there is no way these little electric pads are going to stimulate muscle growth.
But what's it like doing? Is it just like tensing a lot when you
you're just making the muscle contract.
Yeah.
And release.
If you just keep doing that every day, do you really think you're going to build muscle?
It's the same thing. If you're sticking them on your stomach to lose body fat and get your abs out, again, bullshit. It does not work. Everybody's got abs. If you can do a sit up, you can get out of bed in the morning, you have abs, you have muscles there. You may want to train them to thicken them slightly, but whether you train them or not, everybody's abs are covered in that bill of fat. You lose the fat, you'll see the abs. So sticking these silly little pads on you is not going to burn fat. To burn fat, you need to diet. Diet is the most effective, most important.
That really goes on to the next question. What's the best and quickest way to get abs?
Okay, so...
Quickest way. You know, we all want a quick way to get abs. Tell us the quickest way.
Get yourself one of those electric machines and...
Well, you just told us that doesn't work.
Yes,
so what's the next quickest way to get abs?
Okay, the only way, the quickest way to get abs, the only way to get quick abs,
like, you know,
is go to a stationery store, buy a permanent marker and draw them on, because there is no fast way to get your abs out. If you've got a big fat layer of fat hiding those abs, you got to diet your ass off. You got to work hard at it. It takes time. You probably lose 2 to 3 pounds of fat in a week at maximum. Any more, you're going to lose water, glycogen, or even muscle. You lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, you hold on to more fat. So cardio will help, but it's nowhere near as effective as diet. Your diet has to be on point. There is no fast way. You want abs? Get off your ass. Stop putting crap in your mouth.
Okay. Question 3. How much cardio should you do a week when losing fat and still lifting weight?
Oh, okay. So there is no answer for this, as in every single person's different. Everybody needs a different amount.
There's a different answer for everyone.
Yeah, because your body's always adapting. It's always changing its metabolic rate, and every single person is different. The more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism goes, and it can constantly keep changing depending on your diet, your foods, or the rest of it. So your weight training, so you're burning calories, but that's more glycogen rather than fat. But you're going to do the weight training to try and hold on to the muscle. The more muscle you hold, the faster your metabolism. So that's the important part. Going back to the diet is the most important part. That has to be on point. Cardio, where do we start? I've tried everything. When I was competing for shows, I did 2 hours cardio a day and weight training sessions, and I felt like crap. I was like a zombie. I ended up losing muscle and looking my worst. When I did an hour cardio a day, that was kind of a sweet spot, and I got into great condition. But when I looked my very best is when I did 0 cardio, and it was just pure diet and heavy weight sessions. And that was when I got absolutely shredded and held the fullness in my muscle. So the reason cardio is not that effective is because your body adapts and it gets good at what you do often very quickly. So say, for instance, I was doing an hour's cardio every day. It's hard. I'm blowing out my ass. I'm sweating. I might burn 500-600 calories in that hour. If I do that same session, the same cardio every single day for weeks, I'm going to get better at doing it. I become more efficient.
Your body
so
learns.
It becomes easier. So that same hour session, I might now only be burning off 300 or 400 calories instead of 500 or 600. So what do I do there? Add more cardio to the point that you're going to end up losing muscle.
24
your
hours of
metabolism
cardio, that
drops.
should do it, right?
24 hours of cardio. So diet first, always diet, then cardio. And to tell you exactly how much cardio you need, I cannot tell you that without seeing how your body responds, what you're eating, where you're at now. So if you really want to know, we can work all that out for the individual and get to the point where you have to bring cardio in. But for you to do that, I need a lot of your details, so you'd have to join Legion.
So moving on from cardio, another question we've got is, when I do cardio on an empty stomach, is drinking water okay, or should I drink Aminos?
Okay, so you're doing fasted cardio.
Yeah.
So the reason you do fasted cardio, because if I just ate some food, especially carbohydrates, your body's going to break those carbs down into blood sugars, and that's in your blood, and then you wait for the whole process of the insulin taking it and storing it in the muscle or as fat. But while it's in your blood sugar, say I've eaten sugar and it's broken down extremely fast, it's in the blood sugar, it may take 20-30 minutes burning that blood sugars before I start to burn fat. So to do fasted cardio, you've gone, say, 8 hours sleeping, and your glycogen your blood sugars will be very low. So you start doing the cardio, within 5 minutes you start burning fat. So it's a lot more effective. Some people will say, oh, the new science says this and that and blah blah blah, and these people are always fat and they look shit. So this has been proven time and time again that fasted cardio is more effective for fat loss than doing cardio after you've had a meal or something like that. So as I was saying, the question was, should I drink water or should aminos? So I don't see the point of amino acids if your diet's on point. When you're dieting really hard and your carbs are very low, then you can risk burning muscle. So you might want to have amino acids to stop you from burning muscle. However, if you're taking those amino acids, it's also going to stop you from burning fat, because you're going to burn the amino acids before you start burning fat. So for fat loss, water only. You can have whatever you want as long as there's no calories in it. So if you're doing more than, say, an hour's cardio, have the aminos, but you shouldn't be doing more than an hour's cardio, because you are risking getting to the point you become catabolic and break down muscle tissue.
Okay, awesome. And we have one last question. If I sign up for Legion, would you be able to help me lose fat, please?
Well, that's what we're all about. We do so many different programs and everything through Legion, but most of our customers come to us because they want to lose a few pounds. And we really specialize on gaining muscle, losing fat, mental health, all sorts. But if you join up on the Legion page, it's not just a generic program that's pushed out to everybody, because everyone's different. These plans will be tailored for you. So we get you a starting point and you get to check in every single week, and we change the diet every single week to keep you pushing towards your goal, keep you losing weight, so you don't just lose a bit and then stop. So the whole thing about Legion is we want you to get the best results you possibly can, and we do whatever we can to get you to do that.
Yeah, because we want to see you get the results that you want. We want to help you get there. We're not just there to just give you any kind of, generic plan and then see you later. We want to see your successes. We want to see you get to where you want to. And when we know the right answers, or we know how to help if you're struggling, just definitely check us out, www.joinourlegion.com, and we can take it from there. So is there any final words from you as we've gone through all of our questions?
Yeah, the links are in the bio.
Yep.
All I've got to say now is be happy, be healthy, and be awesome.
And
Join our Legion.